Representative for Ohio is resigning from his seat as he accepts an appointment from the president. Don Jones, state representative for the 95th House District, is resigning from his seat in the Ohio House of Representatives. The announcement was made Tuesday afternoon by the Speaker of the House, Matt Huffman. Jones accepted an appointment from President Donald Trump to serve as the state executive director for the Ohio Farm Service Agency with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. His resignation will be effective on June 1st, as he is scheduled to begin his position with the USDA on June 2nd. Speaker Huffman says a screening panel will begin vetting candidates to seek to fill the vacant seat. Residents of the 95th House District who wish to fill the seat have until June 6th to apply.